Well, joining us via Skype right now is Dr. Terrence Wright. He's the author of the book on Dorothy Day, joining us from Denver, Colorado. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Now, Dorothy's Day cause for canonization is underway, and there's still some misunderstandings about her life, and I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about your research and what you learned about her that you might not have known.
Well, I do think she is one of those figures who a lot of people kind of have heard of her, but I think she's also very misunderstood in many ways. And that's partly what motivated me to write the book, is that I think she's often misunderstood both by, if you will, Catholics on the left and the right as a dissenting Catholic. I think largely because she's associated with the issues of social justice, which means that she must not really be interested in questions of sexual morality or abortion, and that's just not true. And so I actually tried to document pretty clearly from her own writings that she's a very faithful daughter of the Church in terms of all of the teachings, and so Father Berrigan had that great line about her, that she lived her life as if the truth were true, and she accepted the truth and didn't parse some things are true and some teachings are true and some aren't. She accepted them, and so I think she is misunderstood, so I hope the book kind of clarifies some of that.
That's great.
I don't want to spoil people's anticipation for the book, but just maybe if you could wet our whistle a little bit as we look forward to reading this new book. Terrence, as founder of the Catholic worker movement, Dorothy really aligned herself with the poor in a very radical way and people who are on the peripheries of society. What was it that motivated her in her childhood, in her growing up, to come to the realization that she had to be aligned with the poor?
Yeah, even in her early life, she sort of had a sympathy for the less fortunate. And she was always drawn to that, even before she entered the Church. I think in her own life, she had such a profound experience of God's mercy that she then dedicated her life to the works of mercy, and just tried to both the spiritual and the material works of mercy, where she was feeding the poor, but also admonishing the sinner, counseling the doubtful. I mean, she just committed her life to that completely.
And she's been known, a doctor as well, about, she's often referred to as the saint of our times, too. Maybe you could talk about that. What do you think about that and how people perceive her now?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a cliche sometimes to hear that said about her, but there's a truth in a lot of cliches. Yeah, I mean, I think that her own life was so, was just kind of mirrors a lot of people's experiences, contemporary experiences. I mean, particularly when she was a young woman, she goes through a very dark period, we can say. She has an abortion. She makes a suicide attempt. She has a failed marriage. She ends up eventually as a single mother. And through all that experience, as I said, particularly in the birth of her daughter, she has this sort of profound sense of God's mercy. And so that experience, I think, can really speak to a lot of other people's experience today. I also think that she's a great example of a lay Catholic who takes an initiative to set up the Catholic worker program, and just kind of can be a real model and an inspiration to a lot of the laity out there.
Just in researching her life and her work, did this do anything for you, produce any kind of a conversion in your heart, Terrence?
Well, I mean, she's been a hero of mine for some time. Okay. But it really did sort of make me more aware, I think, of my own responsibilities to the poor, becoming more aware of how I can respond to those needs. So yeah, as I said, she's been a hero of mine for a long time.
Well, thank you so much for putting this fine book together. And it's a great gift, I think, to the Church, so that we can learn not just more about Dorothy Day, but also learn more about our need to open up our lives and our hearts to those who are struggling around us. Where can people get a copy of the book? Is it fairly easy?
Pretty easy. I mean, you can get it from, it's published by Ignatius Press, so you can just go to the Ignatius site and order it there. And as almost everything else is, it's available on Amazon, and you can get it there. And so it's out there. I appreciate the opportunity.
And all those places where fine Catholic books can be found and purchased. Terrence, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, and we look forward to reading this book and learning more about an incredible person, Dorothy Day. God bless you.